Welcome, dear friends, to another episode of Teach Us to pray with the Lord, to spend moments in prayer. I have a very interesting topic for today. What to pray when you don't really want to pray. Let me rephrase it. What to say when you don't really want to pray. Can it really be prayer when you pray and you don't want to pray? There are some very annoying statements that even friends, family, people you appreciate can make. Things like, have you said your prayers? Pray, God will help you in this situation. God has a plan for you. Don't give up. And you know at the depths of your heart the struggle that you are going through. That spiritual dryness, perhaps a journey that is tearing you from within. Well, let's see how to handle this from a very biblical perspective. First of all, be honest with God. God can handle your situation, your anger, your confusion. All we need is to pour out to God. Just trust in God. Psalmist, Psalm 62:8 says, "Trust in God at all times, O people. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us." I know it is difficult. The whole point is to pour out your heart to God. What do we do for that? Acknowledge your feelings. Just acknowledge your feelings before God. We see a nice example in the person of Job. He had a problem. He did not hide his anguish. He spoke openly, plainly to God. I think that is the most sincere prayer. In fact, he would say, "Why did I not perish at birth? Why did I even come out of my mother's womb?" A very straightforward way of expressing what is in his heart. Also, friends, remember that Jesus understands your pain. God perfectly knows what you're going through. We read in the book of Hebrews that we do have a high priest. We do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with us in our weakness, which means Jesus is a high priest who perfectly understands us, sympathizes with us, agrees with us, perfectly knows us in our weakness, and therefore turn to Him in such situations. Turn to Him in silence in such situations. Perhaps when you don't really know what to pray, you can use the Psalms to pray. The best prayers that were ever used are the Psalms. In fact, days before the Rosary came, it was praying the 150 Psalms together. Many of them knew them by heart and prayed it together from their hearts. Only in days when it was difficult to by heart Psalms that they converted that into these small little formula which became the Hail Mary and Holy Mary, and that is how the Rosary came into existence. Praying with the Psalms is something very beautiful. To use the Psalms in your daily prayer is another very beautiful way of praying. Praying even when you don't feel like it's an act of faith. It's not just an emotion. Praying is an act of faith. And very clearly, Paul would remind us that when we don't know how to pray as we ought to pray, the Spirit helps us in our weakness. In Romans chapter 8 verses 26, the Spirit Himself intercedes for us and groans in words that cannot express. So clearly He tells that when we are struggling, the Spirit of God prays for us. How consoling, how comforting those words are. Yes, we know that you're going through this problem. God understands that you're going through this crisis. God understands that you are at this crossroad where you don't know where to move ahead. The emptiness that is tearing you from within, be it spiritual emptiness, emptiness of relationship, emptiness of words, or your health or medication which has brought you to a situation, bring it to God. Turn it towards God and don't turn it away from God, or the last thing is, don't turn it against God. We see in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 17-18, which says, "I have been deprived of peace. So I say, my splendor is gone." And in such situations, still the the author would want us to turn back to God. Even in a situation of total emptiness, the best thing, or rather the right thing, is not to turn against God, rather to turn towards God. And do remember, God is still listening. We have a God who is listening, a God who has a ear and who says that He is not deaf, that He can't hear to you. Even if you feel ignored, God is present. Even if you feel let down, God is present. Even if you feel torn and empty, God is present. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. The psalmist would say, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Are you brokenhearted? Are you crushed in your spirit? The Lord is close to you. The Lord is at your side. The Lord is holding on to you. The Lord is there right beside you. Even if you are in doubt, bring it before God. Just say, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. What a deep prayer it was. Let it be your own prayer. Nothing can separate us from the love of Christ. Remember, my friends, absolutely nothing can separate us from the love of Christ. No matter what you're going through. If you feel empty of words, you just don't have to speak. If you don't know what to say, you don't have to force yourself. Probably use a portion of the Bible. Probably use a prayer in the Bible. Probably read a psalm and leave it as it is. God understands. All that you need to do is not to turn away from Him. Trust in God. Never give up. Hold on to Him and just be there where you are. Be honest with your feeling. Be honest with what you're going through and just surrender yourselves into the loving arms of God. Never forget, He understands you, your emptiness. He understands you, your emotions. And in this beautiful emotion of emptiness and pain, we still turn to God and say, in our silence, Lord, I am there. I don't know what to say, Lord, but I am there. I have no words, Lord, but I am there. I don't know what to pray. Let your Spirit pray for me in words beyond seeking. Let your Spirit be there for me in words beyond all telling. And in my groans, let the Spirit of God pray for me. And so I invite you to close your eyes and join with me in this little prayer. Dear Lord, I don't want to pray right now. I bring you my silence, my resistance, my heart as it is. My heart is broken and I don't trust easily right now. I am so tired. I have nothing left to give. No words, no tears, no desire. But I offer you this emptiness. Help me want you again. Hold me even when I push you away. Amen. Amen. Thank you for joining in this episode of Teach Us to Pray in situations when we really don't know what to say or pray. Looking forward to meet you all in another new episode. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.